Today I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about the Farplane Invasion and War and Order. And if this is your first time playing through the game and you're seeing this event for the first time, what are the things that you need to know? Hello my friends and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming and this video is sponsored by the makers of War and Order. The Farplane Invasion event takes place over several days. You form a team and then do a bunch of things that will help you smash the monsters like the one that you see on the screen. Now that first stage is team formation. Presumably you will form a group with some of the folks in your alliance, but you can find other groups and other players. I would suggest that you find a group you know, because you're going to want to be high, or at least relatively high, on the damage meter. I'm actually surprised my damage is as low as it is. I feel like I've been doing pretty good, but I'm getting ahead of myself here. Now, after you form your team, you will also notice that there is something in the upper right called the crystal array. When you go there, you can smash this button repeatedly to get some crystals. You will use these crystals to do damage to the monsters after 24 hours have passed, because the first 24 hours are team formation, and then you start smashing these monsters with your team. Now, how do you do that exactly? Well, when you see over here, we have a demon to smash. We can push the button here for either a crystal attack or the holy verdict. These are basically two different items that do two different amounts of damage and give different amounts of rewards to you for going and doing that damage. So when I push the button enough, you'll see I'm getting a bunch of beast experience pills, and then finally it says, hey, do you want to just use all your crystals here? And yes, use them all, give me all the rewards, and there they are. I do the damage, which does a number of things. Once this sucker dies, you get a little bit of an extra reward. You can see it off to the side over here. It's not all that much. But the reality is that you can make your way through a lot of these demons, and the more you kill, the more rewards you ultimately get. I've gotten all of these rewards that you see down here for getting up to almost 35 demons killed so far. Now, those rewards include a team challenge, so being on that good team is really important. There is also an individual challenge where you're going to get rewards based primarily off of how much damage you've been dealing. If I scroll all the way down, I'll see if there's anything else here that I've already claimed, and it looks like it's all related to damage. And then there are daily quests, of which I still need to do a few things, like just spending some of my speed ups is going to give me one of these superior crystals, which does more damage and in turn gives you some extra fodder for rewards. Now, that extra fodder for rewards that I was describing is available in the upper left. This is called the Box of Seals. Contained within this, there are 4 tiers of rewards that you will have access to based on how much damage you've dealt. And just because something is in a higher seal level doesn't mean that the rate you're getting is necessarily better. As an example, if I look at seal level 4 and I scroll down through these rewards here, you can see that an epic crate will run me 250 of these event items. But at level 3, I can get the same thing for 200 of the event currency. So you gotta kind of go in, and the rewards change from time to time when the event shows up. And you've got to figure out, like, what are the rewards that I am most interested in. I grabbed some of these 8-hour speeds because I knew right away I would have a lot of points and I would want to have those. However, I think the general guidance for most players is that you want to go and snap up all of those orange fragments as fast as you can. And I think the rationale for that is that they're very hard to get. Sort of pick one or universal orange artifact fragments, and working on your artifacts is pretty important. I will point out that if you are spending in the game, there actually are bundles you can buy that have a fair amount of artifact fragments, and you can get them pretty cheaply. So if you are a spender, you might look at what are all the things that I spend on and decide to use your currency for the most favorable price based on the event currency for things that you spend on. That's why I bought speed ups, because the amount of gems that it would cost me to get the same amount of speed ups per event currency I was spending was actually pretty favorable to go get speed ups as opposed to other things. Now, you can also get really important stuff here like beast elements used for your beast talents. Once I think you hit beast level 16 or 17, there were, for this particular run of the event, these items over here, the birthstone crystals, which are pretty solid. I might cash in a bunch of those as well, although the price here feels fairly steep. If you do have spending that you do in the game, you can just buy these from bundles, feel like at a relatively cheaper rate. Now, if I make my way back to the main screen here, there are, of course, bundles in this event that you could go and buy in the packs section. There are packs that are available. I did the event's buy limit item over here that you can buy one time. I think it was $5 for 30 superior crystals, which seemed really good to me at rate. But looking over here, you could get 50 superior crystals for $10. And when I compared to the things you can get in the shop, I felt like you could get a lot more for your $10 in other places in just the regular War and Order shops. So I kind of pumped the brakes on this. Maybe that's the wrong way to think about it, because in addition, you also do damage. Doing damage gets you rewards. It helps your team. And we should look at what the team rankings have to offer. Our team is rank 18. My rank is, well, apparently I'm unranked as an individual, which I find fairly surprising. I don't actually know why that's the case. That seems super weird at this exact moment because I'm on a top team with a pretty decent-ish score. If I scroll down through the damage here, I guess you can see maybe I'm unranked because I don't make this particular top list. If this is a top 100, okay. I'm not on the top 100. That's what's going on. And there are rewards, both as an individual and as a team. Let's start by looking at these team rewards. The MVP gets a better reward than the rest of the team. The MVP is the person who does the most damage, and so that's how they differentiate these. We are currently 18th, so I'm in that rank 11 to 20 range. 40 gold coins is pretty good, but like I said, like when you factor in all the things that you get, I don't know that it's necessarily worth the money compared to spending in other places during other events. I think this is like an extra reward you get on top of things you were already doing, rather than something that is potentially worth just going really deep on the packs in order to get that particular reward. But you also do get an individual rank. So if we get a look at what you get on top of that reward, I mean, if you were in the top 100, the lowest tier of reward you're going to get is 80 beast elements. So that's 80 of the currency you use for beast talents. The beast experience pills, 3,000. I mean, this is nothing insane, right? Just when you factor in all these little rewards, it starts to get kind of interesting. At least it's certainly worth doing some amount of pushing to get a decent score. Now, one way that you can grind out some extra score is by going and fighting monsters. When you fight monsters during this particular event, if I show you in my mail over here, I got 1 basic crystal for battling a monster. So it might be worth it to you to spend some amount of your action point potions in order to get some extra basic crystals for a small amount of extra damage and rewards. The basic crystals only do 2 damage, so it's like not that much in the grand scheme of things. So I don't know that you necessarily need to go crazy spending action points. There's probably higher leverage events here, and it looks like there's some reward I can claim. Okay, just kidding. I already claimed it. Let's make our way back over here. The final way that I'm aware of to get yourself some extra points in this event is called the Farplane Orb in the upper right. As damage has been dealt, there is a extremely high leverage pack that is better than any of the other packs I think you can get. These are very limited in terms of the quantity you can get. There's only like 2 or 3 that show up over the course of the event. And that also includes, by the way, your team doing damage, I think, to gain access to that pack as well. And if you were to be buying packs, I think that's one of the first ones that you would go and pick up. I did some basic math to try to assess, like, should I be spending gems on these crystals over here? I don't think that the return is really there on your investment. 400 gems felt like a steep price for what you're getting. I could be wrong. I recognize I have a lot of gems right now. I've been doing a fair amount of spending here, but I just don't know that that's necessarily the right place to go spend the 400 gems. Even though the stuff that's in here, I mean, it's pretty cool. 400 gems, you can get a lot of stuff. And that's just per 20 of those items. 20 of those items, I mean, that's 40 currency. 40 currency doesn't even get you 1,000 beast experience. I feel like you could spend less gems and get more experience. In fact, if we just go and get a look here for perspective, if you have access to it in the benefits shop, we get a scroll down over here. We look for some beast experience. Surely there's some in here. Boom. Yeah, I mean, 400 gems. You can't even buy 1,000 beast experience in that other shop. I recognize you get other stuff too, but here I can spend 180 gems if I had the noble level 9, and I'd get 2,000 beast experience. So I feel like gemming this particular event is not necessarily worth, but I'm open for your thoughts down below in the comments. This has been a fun event to learn and to play around with. There's no crazy city theme or unique thing that you get from this that's so outrageous that you like absolutely must have it. And I will point out, I actually did miss one other way that you can go and do more damage. And if you are spending in the game, there's this event over here, Gems Galore. Obviously, I did a fair amount of spending over the course of this event time frame. But as you spend for every, I guess, 1,000 gems that you acquire, you get 1 superior crystal. And that superior crystal helps you do some extra damage. If you enjoyed the video, throw a like on here and consider subscribing for more War and Order guides designed to help you get value and smash your enemies. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what other events show up next. Every time I feel like I've seen a lot of crazy events in this game, there's always some new thing. Being new to this game is definitely very fun, so subscribe so you don't miss the next guide. And until then, you have fun smashing your realm.